Fannie Mae has made house hacking. Oh, they made it possible again. So I'm super excited. The news just came out last week. This is huge, huge, huge news, especially for folks that live in markets like California. I am so excited for all the opportunities and all the people that can get into finally buying a 2 to 4 unit without all the headaches of FHA. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another week, another episode. Yep, it's me, Kenny Simpson, and this is The Brief. All right, guys, well, I am coming live from good old Austin, Texas. I'm actually tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll be here at the Housing Wire event. So by the time this gets out, I'll probably be headed out. So if you're there and I see you, great. If not, I'm excited doing some great interviews with some of our favorite data nerds about housing to try to figure out what in the world's going on and what's gonna happen. But anyways, that's what I go on here. So I'm shooting from my hotel room. Hopefully it sounds okay. But you know what? We got a lot of stuff to cover, guys. It's just unbelievable. Every single week, it just doesn't stop with this news, I tell you. I woke up this weekend and apparently, right now I don't even really know what's going on, but this whole war going over there and Israel and stuff seems crazy. So not sure how it's going to affect markets, but I mean, even the housing market, even the real estate market in China is saying that it's going to have effects with us. I don't know, but so many different countries, so many different markets, even around the United States, not all markets are the same. Let's get into it while we're here. Here we go. Inventory. What do we got? Honestly, nationally, inventory, it's not going well because we're getting 8 to 10,000 new listings every week. That's it, guys, for the 300 million people. I mean, are you listening to what I'm telling you? We can't even get to 10,000 new listings that's not California, that's nationally. Well, this week we went from 534 to 537,000. It's terrible. 3,000? San Diego, I'll give it to you. We had 380 new listings last week. I shot this last week. 511. Probably one of the bigger numbers I can remember. So that is huge. We got a lot of listings here. So we've got 2927 active, 511 new, 385 recent sales, 401 pending. So what exactly is going on out there? What are we seeing? Let's just cut to the bullshit and the chase. Let's just cut to the chase. Whatever that saying is. Everything is just rates. It's rates, rates, rates. Rates went up. People don't understand what it means. Then they get the payment. Then they go, oh my gosh. So if you were pre-approved and your rate was 6.5, then it went to 7, then it went to 7.5. And for depending on where your rates are, your wholesale, your retail, you could be looking at an 8% conventional rate. You can't even qualify. The DTI doesn't work. What do? You're dead in the water. This is just ridiculous. So that's where we're at, folks. Rate is consuming everything and it's affecting everybody. And honestly, I think people thought we were going to have some relief by now. I think people thought the consumer would pull back. I think we thought we'd see some trouble in employment. We're just not getting the data we need because everybody is just consuming. It's unbelievable. Like, until we stop consuming so much, I don't know if this thing's gonna slow down, but let's go through the data real quick. $70 billion a month. If you do, not everybody's gonna make it. If they did actually make it, student loan payments are due now. Everybody officially, as of October 1st, that $2 trillion of in the savings, it's all gone. The 35% savings rate that was down to 5%, I think is like gone. Credit card debt that was at $750 million is at 1.2 trillion and probably growing. That's becoming untappable. Everybody's locked into super low rates and the mortgage rates are feeling that love. Consumer spending is slowing. Jobs market is showing some not so good news and then other showing good news for us. So it's very a mixed bag there. But at the end of the day, guys, we're not getting the slowdown we want. And the feds clearly have backed off from raising rates, but it's not really helping us. What do we need from the Fed so things could possibly change? I think there's a lot of things we could hear, right? Because just pay attention here, real quick. When we hear from the feds, the vocabulary is gonna change first, okay? Let me tell you the couple things that they need to say. Number one is that they're done hiking. Even if they say we're done based on the current environment of what we're seeing with data, even if they don't give you too much into it. We're done hiking. That's super big signal. The other thing that you might not even know is the other thing that they should say is we're going to stop letting 35 billion of MBS and 60 billion of treasuries. And guys, if you don't know what this is, I'm not going to sit here and explain it. You can go look up. So $95 billion they're letting flow off their balance sheet that has to get consumed in the market. That's not helping rates. So that needs to stop. What we need then is stop hiking, inflation keep coming down, employment start correcting, the treasury start moving down, interest rates start coming down. Remember that spread I told you between the 30-year fixed and the 10-year? That needs to come down. That's why they need to stop unloading the stuff off their balance sheet. And we need to just get some calmness here, but we're not getting it. So we're stuck, but that is what we want to hear from the feds. And what we're hearing from the feds is higher for longer, which is not good. What is just around the corner? The holidays, right? We've got retail shopping, we've got travel, we've got people going out to restaurants, we got people buying gifts, we got part-time employment coming out, seasonal workers. This is the biggest months where we all spend on our loved one, our significant others, our kids, friends, family, whatever you're gonna buy gifts for. This is huge. But there was a report out that said, as of now, the retailers were gonna be the lowest level of hiring seasonal workers in 2007. I don't know if that's true or not, but let me just tell you, I hate to say it, why do we want this season to come? Why do we want you to travel less, to spend less, to just stop consuming, to consume less during these holidays? Because that is a telltale sign. If consumption comes down, consumer pulls back, retail sales are off, that is going to be a huge psyche for the Fed, for all of us to know that you consumers are finally slowing down. We need that really bad. That will probably be the first flare in the sky, in my opinion, that the consumer is really slowing down, because we've blown through the last couple holidays. Last holiday, you still have the credit card, you still have the cash in the bank, right? That stuff has gone away, as we talked about earlier in the video. So we want consumer spending this holiday to be weak. Bad news is good news. If it's really strong, it's going to be a big problem for rates. Just letting you guys know. So no pressure for you buyers and for you sellers out there. A lot of people think there's nobody competing on deals and deals are going under market and there's all these sale price cuts. You're right. You're absolutely right. There's certain parts, let's just take San Diego, the higher end, they're seeing sales, they're seeing price cuts. There's certain parts in other markets I mentioned on my last week where Idaho, Vegas, certain parts of Texas, where there's too much inventory. And these are just a few markets where 50% of the houses listed have price cuts. Yes, in San Diego, there are certain parts of the market where people are overbidding. This is becoming more and more common. Certain parts of like San Diego, for example, are where there's just no inventory. A house comes up, it's a bidding war. So it might start at this price point, it's going over. I'm hearing time and time again, people overpaying by $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. It's still happening, guys. There's even with these crappy rates and this crappy inventory, because we have no inventory, people are overpaying because they need a house to live in. They want a house. They have equity from a house before. They just need it. This is a place where they live. This is not an investment. This is where somebody wants to lay their head. This is where they want to have their family, and they're willing to pay for it. So it's very, in certain markets, it can be very competitive out there. And how do you separate yourself, and how are we winning deals? You've got to be able to remove as many contingencies. Can you remove your loan contingency, your appraisal contingency, your inspection contingency? That will set you farther apart. If you have to have contingencies, can you remove them in 7 to 10 days? Can you close in 15 days, a 10-day, 21-day escrow? That's what's helping. Have your lender talk to that agent to make them feel confident. Ask the questions, dig in there. What is it the seller's looking for? How can we separate ourselves from others? Get in there, ask those questions. Make sure you're ready to go. You're not just messing around or going through the motions, because I'm telling you right now, if you're in a competitive environment, you got to be serious and you got to close quick and you got to do what you're going to say, because there's still a lot of deals are falling out because they'll get in escrow and they weren't ready or they didn't get qualified properly. I'm telling you, lots of deals are falling out. It's crazy. And a lot of people are backing out because rates are so high. And look, guys, at the end of the day, data is very mixed out there. It's very hard to figure out where we're going. I mean, the smartest people have been I'm not gonna say they're off, they're wrong, they're just the consumer. The jobs market is just strong. We had a big jobs number this last week that came in stronger than expected. It's 1 week is up, the next week is down, so it's very, very tough. It's hard to swallow. It's hard to predict things. So I will tell you this, a lot of people are floating rates and playing that game. Don't. When you get a house, when you like the rate, lock it in, and that's it. If rates go down, talk to your lender about the float down policy. I'm sure they have one. If you have to pivot to another lender or whatever because rates on, they can't do something, oh well, it is what it is. I know people that are floating and then the rate went up and now they can't qualify or it doesn't make sense. When you get it, lock it. I mean, if your LO is telling you to float in this environment, they clearly are not reading the data. Sorry, LOs, you're not. That's not the good advice. If your realtor is telling you to float, I don't think that's smart unless there's some news that's changed or something significant that they know, that the market knows it's telling you to float. But if not, get your loan, lock it in. If rates go down, they'll work with you. And last but not least this week is the news I've literally been waiting for such a long time in my career. Like no joke. It's huge, huge news. So finally, I don't know why this has happened, but somewhere at Fannie and Freddie, they delivered some good news. We've got bad inventory, high prices, crappy rates. The real estate market's not that good. But then Fannie and Freddie announced 5% down for a 2 to 4 unit property, and that is huge. Let me explain to you about this program. Number one is we don't know much yet. So if you're calling me and saying, Kenny, what do you know? I don't know. I don't know what the pricing is going to be. I don't know what the hits are going to be. I don't know what the mortgage insurance payment is going to be. That is to be determined. Why? Because we just got the announcement that this program is going to come out, and we got the basic guidelines, meaning like it's 5%, it's rate and term of purchase. That's it. There's no self-sufficiency test, which is great. So that's what I know. I don't know about that stuff yet, so don't call me about that because I don't know. But what we can do is what can you qualify for? And I'm pretty sure it's going to fall Fannie and Freddie Mae guidelines. Let's say Fannie Mae, right? So if you've been self-employed for 5 more years, we could do 1 year tax return. If you obviously the higher the credit score, you're going to have a better rate and a lower mortgage insurance payment. The biggest news about this program that trumps everything that makes it so powerful compared to FHA is we don't have to have a self-sufficiency test. So let me explain that real quick because I probably explained it to you guys like 50,000 times. So let's say on FHA, your payment's $5,000 and your total rental income is $6,000. So I'm going to put in my calculator. So we're going to take $6,000 times 0.75. Well, that's $4,500 if you guys can see that. That is not covering a $5,000 payment. So the problem is on FHA with 2 to 4 units, if it's 4 units, it doesn't matter if you make $1 million a year, you have the best FICO and assets and all this, it has to pass the self-sufficiency test, meaning that if that property has to survive on its own, the bank has to take it back, it has to cash flow itself. So if your payment's $5,000 and your rent's $6,000, you're taking 75% of that and it's $4,500, you're not going to qualify. But with Fannie and Freddie, you're going to be able to now use those rents to help you qualify for that payment. I don't know exactly if they're going to have different guidelines around it, but they are going to allow you to use that rent, and it does not need to pass the self-sufficiency test. So stay tuned for more on that. But this is going to be huge news for house hackers, for people that want to, buy a house, put minimum down, have other people help make your payments. You can have a house in the front with 2 units in the back. You can have a house in the front with 1 unit in the back. You can have a house in the front with 3 units in the back, however you want it. I don't know how this can be applicable if you got a 2 unit plus the ADUs. I don't know yet because that's not out. I know there's a lot of questions going around, so stay tuned for more. But if you're interested in talking more, book a consultation with me. Let's get you pre-qualified. Let's see what it looks like. This is for owner occupied only, so if you are living somewhere, you'd have to move out and move into this property. But that's what I got for now. Thanks again, guys, for watching this week. I'm looking forward to come back with a lot of great interviews that I'll have for you guys on my podcast from Housing Wire. Also, I'll be sharing a lot of great information too over the next couple of days that I learned. Otherwise, have a great week. Stay safe, and let's pray for some low rates. Talk to you soon.